Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Kevin Leong, and I am from New York City Emergency Management. And today you are joining us for a webinar on how to pack a go bag. And yeah, we are joined today by Andrew Yablonsky, as well as Edward Powell from New York City Emergency Management. And we are very happy to have them here to teach us really how to pack a go bag and what to do when we do need to have a go bag. So yeah, Andrew, Ed, please, you guys have the floor and start with the presentation.
Well, thank you, Kevin. I'm just having a little technical difficulty in starting my video. So if you can sort of help me out with that, we'll be glad to get started.
Yeah, sure. What seems to be the issue, Ed?
As I click on it, it says you cannot start your video because the host has stopped it.
Got it. That is my fault. I forgot to allow you to have a video. So I just clicked on it for you, and you should try again. And I think you should be able to have a video now.
Okay.
There we go. Perfect. Yeah. Apologies on that.
Not a problem. Okay. Just a second. Just gonna need to. AJ, are you on screen share here?
No, it is me. So
it's you. Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. So good afternoon, everybody. It's just delightful to see so many people have joined us. Today we're going to be talking about how to pack a go bag. We're going to be sharing some very important and useful information during this presentation. So we strongly urge you to take notes, grab a pen and paper. You may have questions. You can either put it into the chat or at the end of the presentation, we'll address those questions. Now, just a bit about our agency, who we are and what we do. New York City Emergency Management helps New Yorkers before, during, and after emergencies through preparedness, education, and response. The agency is responsible for preparing the city and coordinating emergency planning and response for all types and scales of emergencies. We make certain that other responding agencies and partners are communicating with each other so as to provide the very best possible response. We collect and disseminate preparedness information, and we educate New Yorkers about how to prepare themselves, their families, and even their pets for all kinds of emergencies. We're staffed by more than 200 dedicated professionals with diverse backgrounds and areas of expertise, even including individuals assigned from other agencies. And now I want to talk to you about how to be prepared. Much of the information that we're going to share today can be found in two of our publications, Ready New York, My Emergency Plan, and Ready New York, My Pet's Emergency Plan. You can download these two booklets or request that the hard copy versions be mailed to you free of charge by visiting nyc.gov/ready, R-E-A-D-Y, NY. That's nyc.gov/ready, NY. By visiting the website, you can also request one of our presentations for your organization or your school or community group or your house of worship. And in addition, you can order and download more of our publications on emergency preparedness or our videos and apps for download to your phone or tablet. Now, there are just three basic steps to preparing for emergencies. Step number one is to make a plan, to have your plan in place before that emergency happens. That's so important because many people wait until, you know, things get crazy and then it's, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? And quite often it's too late then. So start planning now, you know, immediately on what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, what you're going to have on hand. And speaking of having on hand, that leads me to step number two, which is gathering supplies. You know, you're gonna, you know, get hold of those supplies that you're going to need to sustain yourself through that emergency. You know, things that, like a go bag, for example, or if you, you know, if you have to remain in your home, you're going to want to store some supplies in your home. And step number three is getting informed, making yourself aware of those resources, and there are many, the resources that are available to you. So now my colleague AJ is going to talk a bit about what a go bag is and packing a go bag. AJ?
Thank you so much for the introduction, Ed. Good afternoon, everyone. My name's AJ, and I'm very excited to be talking with you today about a go bag and how to pack one. So a go bag is a sturdy backpack or small suitcase on wheels in which you can store emergency supplies. You store these supplies in your go bag so that you can take them with you if you have to evacuate from your home in an emergency. It's a really great idea to make sure that you store your go bag in a readily accessible place, like near your bedroom or near your kitchen, in a cupboard that's easily accessible. Everyone in your home needs to have their own go bag because materials in your go bag can help to sustain you and keep you safe when you're away from home. So now I'm really excited that we're going to actually pack a go bag together so that we can talk through the materials that should be in everyone's go bag and give you an example of what some of those materials might be. So here we have an example of a go bag. This is a Ready New York branded backpack that we're actually going to be raffling off later in this presentation. So you have a chance to get your own copy of this go bag. However, any backpack or small suitcase with wheels would work for your emergency supply kit. So what are some things that we would want to put in a go bag? First, a first aid kit. It's really important that you have access to basic first aid supplies in the event of an emergency, because you never know if you or someone in your family or friends that you're sheltering with could become injured when an emergency happens. So that's very important to have. You also want to have a copy of your emergency plan. This is the document that Ed was talking about earlier, the Ready New York My Emergency Plan. It has all the steps that you need to take to be prepared, but it's really important that in the excitement and heat of an emergency, you want to make sure that you have this written down so that you know what your plan is and that you don't forget it. Or if you do forget any details, you have it already written down so that you can know what to do. For example, where to go or who you're going to call in an emergency. You also want to have something to write on and something to write with. So there might be phone numbers that you need to call in order to get in contact with someone from the government or someone that you're trying to reach out to. On this document that Ready New York provides, you can write down different numbers of friends or family. You probably can't see this because it's too small, but this also has what's called an emergency reference card. So all of the information that you might need in an emergency, like your name, where you would want to meet, other important locations like work or school, and also emergency contacts. So people located in New York City and also individuals located out of New York City. In the event that something were to occur that would cause you to need severe medical attention and you weren't conscious, you'd want to have a copy of one of these so that whoever is responding to you is able to access those emergency contacts. So that should also be in your go bag as well. This will be familiar to a lot of people now. It's really important to have a mask. If we're in the middle of a pandemic, emergencies can still happen. If you have to shelter in a place with other individuals, you want to make sure that you're protected from any airborne illnesses or any other toxins in the air. A mask will certainly help prevent those. Additionally, a lot of emergencies that occur in New York are weather related, like flooding or hurricanes. So you wanna make sure that you have a poncho, something to keep you dry. That's another thing to keep in a go bag. Additionally, this is an emergency blanket. You can purchase these for very cheap. They're available in many stores in New York City. You can also get them online. And what this will do is it's a small, lightweight blanket that will keep you warm when there's cold weather going on. Another really important thing to have in your go bag is a flashlight and batteries. You don't want to take anything flammable with you, like a candle. You want to make sure that you have something electronic, like a flashlight, in case it's dark out and you need to see and you don't have access to some other form of light. So make sure that you have batteries that are working, as well as a flashlight that's working in your go bag. And then of course, there are personal hygiene items like tissues and soap and toothpaste and a toothbrush. You don't want to have to be running all over your house or apartment trying to find these when an emergency is happening. You want to make sure that that they're in your go bag, ready to go at a moment's notice. Additionally, a device that can make a loud noise like a whistle to help signal for help, that's something you'd like to have in your go bag too. And then you know yourself and your family best. So there might be other things that we don't have listed in the My Emergency Plan that you know are very important for you to have if you're going to survive outside of your home for several days. For me, I wear contacts or glasses, so I make sure to have a few extra pairs for several days located in my go bag, just in case I need to run out quickly. But like I said, there are other things that you'd want to include in your go bag. Small bottles of water are one example, granola bars or energy bars, some other form of non-perishable food, and then any other things that you think you might need in an emergency. It's important that you're not overpacking your go bag so that it's heavy and you have to lug it around everywhere. That would make it pretty difficult. So you want to make sure that it's only the necessities, but you know yourself and your family best. So it's up to you to decide what to include in your go bag. Additionally, one more thing about the go bag, make sure that you're not including any weapons or toxic materials like bleach, acid, or kerosene. Those are things that you don't want to have in your go bag because they could be dangerous and make an emergency situation even worse. And now Ed is going to talk to you about a go bag for kids.
Thank you, AJ. In addition to those items found in the adult's go bag, the child's go bag should include some childcare supplies. Like, for example, if you have a small child or baby in your home, that go bag should include baby bottles, baby food, lotion, baby wipes, diapers, and onesies, something like that, baby clothes. Age-appropriate children's games and toys should be also included. If older children live in your household, their go bags can also include items like books or electronic tablets, intergenerational games like checkers and chess. And don't forget, they'll also need face masks and hand sanitizer, which reminds me, I have my 12-year-old daughter's go bag with me. And I'm just going to go through a few of the items in her go bag. Of course, she has a supply of face masks and sanitizer in her go bag. She also has her vitamins. She also has a book, to kind of keep her occupied. She has her flashlight and extra batteries taped to the flashlight. She has a supply of plastic cups and paper plates and utensils. She also has her lotion and her deodorant. She has her electronic tablet. She has a smaller flashlight that she likes with batteries taped to it. She has some additional hand sanitizer. She has a spare pair of glasses. Some rubber gloves, a whistle, her money, and that's all under $20 bills, 20s and under. And she has a plastic bag with her medicine. I don't think you can see this because I'm using a virtual background here, but she has her medicine as well as copies of her ID and my ID in a plastic bag inside her go bag, and many other things. So as you can see, the children's go bag is going to be quite similar, but it will include things that are more childcare oriented. Now let's talk about your go bag for pets. Pets should have their own go bag, and this section includes information that can be found in our publication, Ready New York, My Pet's Emergency Plan. They should have a sturdy, easy to carry container, such as a backpack or suitcase on wheels that should be easily accessible. The best place to keep your go bag is going to be near the exit door, so that when you have to get out quickly, you don't have to run around trying to find it. You know, where did I put that thing? It should be near the exit door. So on your way out, you grab your go bag. Everybody grabs their own go bag. You grab the pet go bag with your pets, and then you can exit. Their go bag should include some of the following items, if not all. A current color photograph of you and your pet together in case you're separated. It should also include copies of medical records that indicate dates of vaccinations and a list of medication that your pet takes and why they take it. Proof of identification and ownership, including copies of registration information, adoption papers, proof of purchase and microchip information, a physical description of your pet, including species, breed, age, sex, color, distinguishing traits, and other vital information about characteristics and your pet's behavior. Animal first aid kit, including flea and tick treatment and other items recommended by your veterinarian. Okay, so, you know, that is pretty much it. I mean, you might want to include things like food and water and dishes for a minimum of 3 days, a leash, a blanket, comforting toys and treats, and some litter. So again, our publication, Ready New York, My Pet's Emergency Plan, is available like the other publication that I mentioned, as well as many, many more at nyc.gov/readyny. Now, AJ, if you'll talk to us just a bit more about updating your go bag?
Absolutely. So something that is just as important as packing a go bag in the first place is making sure that your go bag remains updated. So this means that we recommend every 6 months checking your go bag to make sure that everything in it that could expire is current. So food items, water bottles, medications, first aid items, batteries, and personal hygiene items that have expiration dates. Make sure that you check these at least every 6 months to make sure that the food isn't expired, that the water bottles haven't expired, and that the medications haven't expired. And also to make sure that the batteries are still working. If you notice that the food, water, or medications are about to expire, swap them out so that you can use them with fresh ones. And that'll ensure that if an emergency happens within that next 6-month period, you're not going to be consuming anything that has expired. Your medications are still going to work. Your first aid items will be up to date, and you're not going to be using a flashlight and have it burn out while you're using it. There are also some other instances where it will be really helpful for you to update your go bag and make sure that it's still current. This could include if you move to a new home or a new place of residence. Moving from one climate to another might mean modifying the type of clothes that you have in your go bag if you choose to put clothes in them. If you move from an urban area to a rural area, you might need to replace urban items like sneakers for wilderness survival items like boots. That probably isn't the case in New York City, but if you do move out of the city, that is something you might want to think about. Additionally, if the number of people in your home changes, that could mean that you have to either add a new go bag or take a go bag away. If you get a pet, you would want to create a go bag for them. But make sure that at those 6-month periods or when you have a new person either in your home or a person leave your home, that your go bags are up to date and ready to meet the needs of all of the residents of your home. At this point, I'm going to give it back to Ed.
Well, thank you, AJ. So now we're going to take questions. And I'm going to just check and see if we have any questions in the chat at this time.
Hey Ed, I have a question for you. This is from Chantel Moss.
Okay.
Moses, sorry if I pronounced the name wrong. The question is Ready NYC an app that we should download?
Absolutely. The Ready New York app is, it contains much of the same information that you'll find in the Ready New York My Emergency Plan booklet, but it would be available on your phone or tablet.
Awesome. And the second question is how much money is recommended for the go bag, and cash or no cash?
That's a call that you should make yourself. You know how much money you spend or would like to have available. So it can be any amount. It's up to you, but just remember, it should not be large bills because in an emergency situation, it might be difficult to get large bills cashed. So remember, $20 bills and under. And one additional thing that I wanted to mention is that, believe it or not, in New York City, there are still some vending machines that are only coin operated. They don't accept bills or credit cards. So there are a few of them around. So in the event you would be near one of those or need to have access to one of those, put a few coins in your go bag. Put some coins in a plastic bag and just drop them in your go bag for good measure.
Great, thanks so much, Ed. The next question that we have is from an anonymous attendee is how much water should you pack?
There's a formula for the amount, in your go bag, I would suggest that, you just a few bottles, because you're gonna carry this, and you don't want it to be too heavy. So I would just suggest just you know, a few bottles of water so that your go bag isn't very heavy. But in your home, for your stay-at-home kit, you would need to store more water than that. So because this is for emergencies when you are sequestered in your home and you can't go outside, like the pandemic, for example, or for really, really inclement weather, or when there's a gas leak outside or something, the authorities might advise you to remain inside. So you'll need to, of course, store water in advance along with other supplies. So the amount of water that you should keep in your home at all times, there's a formula for that, and that is 1 gallon of water per person per day that you're going to be inside. And I would suggest that you store enough supplies that would last you for at least 7 days. So 1 gallon per person per day would mean that if it's just one person, if it's just yourself, you would need to have 7 gallons of water stored. And you can multiply that by the number of people.
Great, thanks so much, Ed. The next question is it a good idea? Oh, I'm sorry, there was another question before that, and there's a question from a lot of you all, is that will this presentation be available online, and can you get a copy of the presentation? And to answer that question is yes, we will be emailing all the attendees a PDF of the presentation, as well as a link to the presentation that you are seeing today. The link might come a little bit later just because it takes some time for it to upload onto YouTube. But yes, you will be able to get both. And once we have those available to you, you'll get it right away. And the next question is it a good idea to carry and keep a go bag in your car?
That is an excellent idea. And it's something that, you know, I am going to start mentioning more often in my presentations, because you don't know where you'll be or when an emergency is going to happen. You could be driving, you could be at home, or you could be at work, you could be at school. So, you know, if you have a car, by all means, keep a go bag in your car.
Great, thank you so much. Do we have to have money? That is the next question.
Do you have to have money in your go bag? You don't have to. It's, you know, you don't have to have anything in there that you don't want to have, but you should include anything in there that you want to. And as far as money, again, this is only a suggestion from me or from us, that you include money, because there might be occasions when you would need to have cash rather than a credit card or you know, any other form of currency. So sometimes when those instances occur, you're gonna need to have some cash. So I would suggest that you do. You don't have to, of course, abide by my suggestions. You know, you should follow your own mind, but that's what we would suggest.
Thank you so much. The next question is, should I change the clothes in my go bag every 6 months according to the season?
That's a good idea. You know, if in the hot summer, if you have, you know, short sleeve shirts in your go bag, that's great. But when it's freezing in winter, and you have to evacuate and go outside, you might want to have a heavier shirt or jacket in there. So it's a good idea to change with the seasons. Yes.
Thank you so much. The next question is, how often should you change the water in your go bag?
You should change. Well, first of all, water itself does not expire, but the containers that you'll have water in, the plastic containers, after a while, the plastic will start to break down. And it could contaminate the water over a period of time. So plastic bottles that contain water should have an expiration date on it. Sometimes it's so tiny that you might need a magnifying glass to read it. But every bottle of water should have an expiration date on it. Change the water in your go bag before that expiration, that expiration period, and preferably with enough time to consume the water while it's still unexpired.
Great, thank you so much. The next question is, for seniors, what are the most important resources that seniors should take with them?
Well, for seniors, look, like anyone else, you want to take those items that we've talked about. Seniors are going to want pretty much the same thing as anyone else. You're going to want to have the flashlight and the batteries, the battery operated radios. Be sure to include your hand sanitizer and face masks. That's not something that was a big priority years ago. But now, of course, during the pandemic, you certainly are going to want to include those items.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ed. This next question is saying, is New York City expecting any unwanted activity given next week's events and in light of the Capitol insurrection? I could answer that for you, Ed and AJ. So yes, that's a great question. These are some weird times that we are living in, but please remember that if you have any questions in terms of that, please refer to your local police department. Calling 311 will also give you a lot of information, as well as please sign up for our Notify NYC app, or you can sign up online, and we will be able to push you up-to-date emergency information if anything is happening. Now, New York City is a very, very safe and great city to live in, but we are living in a city, so things might happen, and the best way to keep up to date is to be informed. And by being informed is by signing up for Notify NYC. And if you have any other questions in regards to that, please refer to your local police department. And if you don't know where that is, please call 311 and they can refer to you where is the closest police department that you are located in.
Thank you, Kevin.
The next question is, do you need to take your important documents?
Well, AJ, I've been answering all the questions, and you have a great deal of expertise, so I'm going to throw that one to you.
Absolutely. So that's a great question about having important documents. What we recommend is taking photocopies of those documents or having pictures of them printed out and putting those in your go bag, so that the original ones are safe in your home, but you have copies of important documents like a passport or a driver's license or other form of ID, so that you have proof of identification, but that those important documents are still available in your home. That's what we would recommend.
Great, thank you so much. The next question is, would it be a good idea to have walkie-talkies in my go bag for each family member?
That could serve you quite well. Just remember to keep spare batteries for it, because over a period of time, and again, don't put your batteries inside the walkie-talkie. Keep the batteries separate, because over a period of time, those batteries can corrode inside of the walkie-talkie, or those batteries could discharge. And when it's time to use the walkie-talkie, you don't have any service. So sure, by all means, put anything in your go bag that you would want to put in there. There are no hard rules on that, except don't make it so heavy that you can't carry it.
Thanks, Ed. That's a great answer. And I just want to reiterate that too, is each person is different in New York City. Some may be living by themselves, some may be living with multiple family members and generations within the same household. So please make sure that when you pack your go bag, it is catered to you and your family. It's super important that you think about that and what your family needs. Some may be needing more assistance in terms of how to get around, or some could just waltz right out of the door. And again, it really depends on the situation that you are in and what works for your family and how it works for your family. So please make the call for yourself. And we definitely suggest that if you think it works for your family, please prepare for it. And thank you so much, Ed, for that answer as well. Another question is, should this information be shared with others outside of your immediate family? For instance, if there are members out of state?
AJ?
Absolutely. That's a great question. We recommend having at least one person outside of New York City that's a part of your emergency support network. And what that means is you've communicated with that person before an emergency happens as a part of your emergency plan to let them know that you will be contacting them if an emergency happens. That's really, really important because of how the phone lines work and the internet works. Sometimes it may be difficult when an emergency is occurring to contact people in New York City, but it might be easier to reach people outside of New York City. So we do recommend that you have at least one person outside of the city that is a part of your emergency support network. And then in terms of this presentation and the information contained within it, we would love for you to share that information with other people. It's our job to educate the public about how to prepare for emergencies. And part of that is once we give all of you this information, we want you to share it with your network, with people who weren't listening to this presentation, with extended family members, with friends, with coworkers. When we all prepare for emergencies, we're all better able to respond to them. So yes, this information should definitely be shared.
Great. Thank you so much. And the next question that we have is, should the go bag stay in a cool place?
Not necessarily, depending on the contents of the go bag. You know, I don't think it's, you know, you wouldn't want to, you know, put it in an excessively hot place necessarily, but I don't think there are any reason why you should want to keep it air conditioned or anything. So yeah, room temperature is fine.
Great. Thank you so much. And the last question that we have is, for the go bag, would you say 2 liters of water per person is good?
2 liters, again, you know, it all depends on how heavy you want your go bag to be. You know, you can put as much water as you want or as little as you want. I would, you know, try and put enough to, you know, for yourself in each go bag. And remember, everyone should have their own, but 2 liters, that's entirely up to you, the amount that you want to put in there. Just don't make it too heavy. And you know, again, you can put you can make a go bag that's in a small suitcase on wheels that you can pull along, and then you can increase the weight so that, you know, because you're not carrying that on your back. But you know, I wouldn't set a specific amount for everybody. It's entirely your call.
Great, thanks so much. And I don't think I see any more questions. We'll give it another second or two if anyone does have any questions. And then if not, we will move on to the next part of the presentation.
Okay, then if there are no more questions at this time, let me just remind everyone that you can pose your questions after the presentation. This is not the end of it. You can email your presentations directly to me, or you can direct it. You can email your presentations to our Ready New York email address, which is I don't have it in front of me, but I think it's, and Kevin, you can correct me. I believe it's Ready New York at oem.nyc.gov.
Close, yes. It's ready NY at
Ready NY, yeah.
.nyc.gov. And I get that mixed up all the time too. Yes, it's ready NY at oem.nyc.gov if you have any other questions.
Absolutely. So, since I don't see any more questions or hear any more questions right now, we'll move on to our Go Bag raffle that I'm sure everybody is waiting with bated breath for. We have selected 3 individuals, random, and they will qualify to receive a go bag, fully packed, including the materials that most of the materials that we've talked about. But again, remember, this is only standard. You're going to want to personalize your go bag and put whatever you want in there. You know what you'd like to have with you should you have to evacuate from your home and be away from home for a while. Okay, so I'm going to ask Kevin to announce the winners. There are 3 randomly selected people who will receive go bags. So the first winner, Kevin?
Yep, the first winner, the number was, it was basically, it's a random number generator, and the first winner that won is number 71, and that was Olga, Olga Okasine. I have your name written down, and I will get your contact information from your registration, and we will email you. So congratulations.
Congratulations, Olga.
And then, oops, sorry, go ahead, Ed.
We should give Olga a virtual big hand, a big applause to Olga. All right. Okay, second winner.
Awesome. And the second winner is number 53. It's just a random number generator. And that person is, sorry, I'm still counting. And that person is Danny Lee Bong Lee, who is number 53.
Fantastic. Congratulations, Danny.
Perfect. And the last person is, I am generating that number right now. And the last person is number 108. At the moment, we have 117 people still in, and I'm just counting from back. All right, and it is Salida McBride. So congratulations.
Congratulations, Salida.
So congratulations. The 3 of you have won a go bag, and we will be in contact with you. We will email you, and we will get your information to be able to send you a go bag. So congratulations to the 3 people who have received it. Again, it is Olga Salida. I'm sorry if I am butchering the name. I apologize. And the next one, and the last one is Lee Bong Lee, or Danny Lee.
Okay, so everyone who has, if you didn't win, you're still a winner, because here's some information. If you didn't win a go bag today, it's easy to make one yourself. Using the information that we've shared with you, the book bags are not expensive. The suitcase on wheels can be purchased relatively cheap. And I don't mean cheap materials, but I mean cheap as far as the amount of money that you'd have to spend. So get yourself a go bag, get yourself a bag to make a go bag with, and you have all the information about how to put the materials in and what materials to put in, what materials not to put in, and make yourself a go bag. Again, if you have additional questions or about anything here, you can contact us at readym.nyc.gov. And you should visit our website to request us to come out and do a presentation for your group, for your house of worship, for an organization, a school. And you can also order materials. You can order our printed materials. You can order videos and many other things. There is a map of the city of New York that will give you information about your hurricane evacuation zones. But you can get all that information and more by visiting nyc.gov/readyny. And finally, by all means, download the Notify NYC app. Notify NYC is the city's free notification program for any kinds of emergencies, even if local public transportation is running slow in your area, or it's not operational in your area, or if there's a hurricane coming, or a heat wave, or if there's a power failure, you'll get instructions on what you should do. And this will come directly to your phone. So you can download that app for your phone at nyc.gov/notify, NOTIFY, NYC. So we just like to thank you guys for joining us today, and on behalf of all of us at Emergency Management, we sincerely hope that you've gotten some information today that will benefit you in making yourself prepared for all emergencies. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Have a great afternoon.